Hello everyone, welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today we are making this cute little pigtail square, and I do rather love his tail. You will see later on when we make it that I talk about loving it. I love the way it curls up and the way he's got his little tiny feet, and yeah, made out of picots. Very clever. And yeah, it's actually quite simple to make, mostly just a circular piece inside this lovely mesh, which I kind of think of it as the pig in his pen, or behind a fence. So there we go, quite simple to make. So grab your yarn, your hooks and scissors, and maybe a cup of tea or coffee, and let's get started. Okay, so to start round one of our little piggy, we are going to make a ring with either 4 chains and a slip stitch, or use the magic ring. And then we're going to chain 3 as our first double crochet, and then we're going to make 21 double crochet into our ring. So we will finish with 22 double crochets. And when you've finished all 22, slip stitch to the top of your starting chain 3, just here. So I will see you when I've got all my 22 stitches. Okay, 22 double crochets. And now we're going to do exactly the same as what we've done on circles recently. We're going to chain 3. And then we're going to do 2 double crochets in every stitch. So a double crochet in the same stitch as your chain, and then 2 double crochets in every stitch around. So you will end up with 44 double crochets at the end of this round. 2 double crochet in every stitch. 44 double crochets. And there we go, with 44 double crochets. Now it is buckling a bit, but it will all straighten out as we continue our rounds, okay? So don't worry about that. So for our next round, we are going to chain 3. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch. So this chain 3 is our first stitch, and then go into your second stitch and do a double crochet, and 1 into every stitch around. So in this round you will also have 44 double crochet, and once again slip stitch to the top of your starting chain. Okie dokie, 44 double crochets later. Now you can see my circle is buckling up still, so don't panic about that. We're going to start to square off now, and it will flatten it all out nicely. So fasten off your pig colour, and then keep that nearby, because we'll need that to finish off the features at the end. But we're going to start squaring this off now and doing the outside. So grab whatever colour you're going to do that outside with, and join that into the back loop of any stitch. And then chain 5, and this chain 5 counts as a double crochet and a chain 2, and then do another double crochet in that same stitch, in that back loop of that same stitch. And we're going to work all of this round in the back loop only, leaving the front loop free for when we finish our pig off at the end. So we are going to now chain 2, skip a stitch, and then we're going to do a half double crochet in the back loop of the next stitch. Half double crochet. Okay, chain 2, skip a stitch, and then we're going to do a single crochet in each of the next 4 in that back loop. Okay, and chain 2, skip a stitch and do a half double crochet in the next. Don't forget it's in that back loop only. And chain 2, skip a stitch, and then we're going to do another corner. So this was our first corner. So skip a stitch, do the next corner, which is a double crochet, chain 2, and a double crochet. And then you're going to repeat the same pattern around the other sides. So you're going to chain 2, skip a stitch, do a half double crochet, chain 2, skip a stitch, 4 single crochet, chain 2, skip a stitch, half double crochet, chain 2, skip a stitch, and then your corner. So repeat this all the way around and then slip stitch to your third chain, but I'll meet you back around this corner to finish. Rewind the video about 2 or 3 minutes to follow along with the video again should you need to. Okay, so when you've done your last half double crochet and chain 2, you're going to slip stitch into your third chain up, and that will be the equivalent of the top of a double crochet. And there we go, there's our first squaring off round with our little piggy body in the middle. Doesn't look much like a piggy body at the moment, but it will. Okay, so time for round 5. Okay, so slip stitch over into the chain space, and that's where you can change colour should you wish to. And then you're going to chain 5, which again counts as a double crochet and chain 2. So you will slip stitch into the third chain again when we come back around to finish. And then do a double crochet in that same space, and that's how you'll do your corners. Double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in each corner space. And then we are making a mesh square, so we are going to chain 2, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the next chain space, chain 2, double crochet in the next chain space, chain 2, double crochet in the third single crochet along, chain 2, double crochet in the chain space, chain 2, double crochet in the chain space, chain 2, and do your corner, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and you're going to repeat that along every side. So a double crochet into every chain space with chain 2 separating, and a double crochet in your third single crochet. Okay, I will see you at the end of this round. Rewind 2 minutes if you want to follow along again. And here we go at the end of round 5. So round 6 is pretty much the same in that we're going to do our corner in the same way. So just slip stitch into that corner, or change your colour there if you're changing colour, and then chain 5. Again as a chain, as a double crochet and chain 2, so you'll be slip stitching into the third chain again, and then a double crochet. So your corners once again will be double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then just as before you're going to chain 2 and then do a double crochet in the next chain space, chain 2, double crochet in the next chain space, all the way along until you get to your next corner space, and then you will do your double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, so all the way around, and then do your slip stitch into your third chain. And I'll see you back around this side. And there we go at the end of round 6. So we're going to do one more round, which will be won't be mesh this time. It will be a half double crochet round, and it will just help to firm up this open mesh. Okay, so we're going to slip stitch across to the corner space, and then we're going to do a chain 2 for a half double crochet, and then make a half double crochet, chain 2 and 2 more half double crochets. So your corners will be 2 half double crochet, chain 2 and 2 half double crochets, and then into each space along we're going to make 3 half double crochets in each space. And this will just help to give a more solid edge along here, kind of, as I called it, firming it up, and that will also help you when you if you want to join your squares like into a blanket or something. It will just help with that sewing up as well. So follow this all the way around, 3 half double crochets into every space, and in your corner 2 half double crochet, chain 2 and 2 half double crochets, and then you're going to slip stitch to the top of that initial chain 2, and I will see you when I have finished this round. And here we go. Here is our lovely square, and this is such a gorgeous square on its own. I love this. It's different because normally we do a circle in a solid square, but it's really nice having this mesh background for a change. So we're going to make this into a pig though. So on round 3 we have these front loops left. Okay, so what we're going to do is at 3 o'clock mark, so just here in the middle right, we're going to join our yarn into the front loop of this last circular round. Now don't worry if you're thinking, oh well, is it this stitch or is it this stitch, because the only difference it will make is to whether your nose is slightly up here or slightly down here. And it won't make a huge amount of difference at all. So just join your yarn, your pig yarn, into that front loop of around about 3 o'clock mark on that right hand side there. Okay, and then we're going to work into these front loops on this round, and we're going to do a chain 1 and single crochet for this first stitch, and then we're going to single crochet into the next 15 stitches. So the next 15 front loops are single crochet. Okay, I'll leave you to do that and I'll meet you back once I've done my 15. Okay, when you've done those 15 stitches, or 16 including your first one, we are going to do our picot for the pig's ear. So chain 3 and then slip stitch into the first chain, and that just makes a little bump which will make the ear. So then we're going to do a single crochet into the next 5 stitches. Again in that front loop, 5 stitches, 5 single crochet. Okay, so got his little ear at the top here. Okay, and then we're going to do, so we've done 5 single crochet, and now we're going to do a chain 4. going to make his nose. So you're going to do a treble crochet in the next 4 stitches. Okay, so this is making his little snout. So treble crochet in the next 4 stitches. Three and 4. And then another chain 4 and single crochet into the next 6 stitches. I'll show you that nose in just one moment of how it's supposed to be looking. So this is how your little snout will look. Okay, like this. Oops, there we go. Okay, so we've done a single crochet in 6 stitches, and then we're going to do another picot, and this will be for his little foot. So chain 3 and slip stitch into that first chain, and then single crochet into the next 8 stitches, into that front loop, 8 stitches. Seven and 8, and not 8 stitches, I'm very sorry, undo 4 of those stitches. We only want to do 4 first of all, so undo 4. Okay, so you've done your picot for the first foot and then single crochet 4, sorry about that folks, and then you're going to do a picot for the next foot. So chain 3 and slip stitch into the first chain. There we go, he's got 2 feet now. And now we're going to single crochet in the next 8 stitches. I wondered where that second foot was going to be. Okay, and 8. So if you've turned your square around to make the pig the other way around, then when you come to where your chain was made, it might just be a little tight to get into that where your original chain was. Okay, so we've done our 8 stitches, and now we're going to chain 6. We're going to make his little piggy tail, and it is so cute. I love this little piggy tail. So chain 6. And then we're going to skip the first chain, and in the second chain from the hook and the other, so the next like 5 stitches, we're going to do a single crochet. So we're going to do 5 single crochets starting in the second chain from the hook. It's a bit fiddly, but it's worth it. One more to go, and then the magic happens. well, when we take our hook out, the magic will happen. Okay, and then you are going to single crochet into your last stitch around. If you happen to have 2 stitches, it could be because I've got 2 stitches here, so it could be that I just mistakenly did 2. You can see I've got a slightly bigger gap here from when I did my chain, so I must have gone into my slip stitch as well as the chain. Okay, so if that happens, you can either undo your work back or just do a single crochet in these next 2 stitches. It really doesn't matter that you've got 2 stitches there instead of 1. It's not a problem. Okay, and then slip stitch to your first single crochet to join. You can use the invisible join if you wish, and that's what I'm going to do in just a moment. Okay, so the only other thing we need to do is give this little fella an eye. So we don't have to do an eye, but if you wish to, then wherever you feel an eye should go, so I'm going to do somewhere sort of in line with the ear and the nose. Just want to secure your yarn on the back. I'm using a double strand today because my yarn is a little thin. So just secure that on the back. And then go through to the front wherever you wish your eye to be. And I'll show you how we're going to do this French knot. We did do it in our cookie square. We used it for our chocolate chips or raisins. Okay, so what you want to do is wrap your yarn around your needle about 3 or 4 times, depending on how big you want your French knot to be. And then whilst holding this yarn secure and putting a finger on top of those loops, you want to go through to the other side, but you want to go through a stitch and in a different place to where you came from. So if you can see, I've come out from here and I'm going to go in through this stitch, okay, and go through those loops, and then you're going to take your yarn. Can you see that yarn going through those loops? Through, and then don't pull it too tightly or you risk pulling it through the other side. So there we go. Then you can just adjust it however you please, and then just again secure it on the back. And that is your French knot for your eye. You could do that, you could use a little tiny button, a bead, you could do whatever you fancy for your eye. I might put a tiny dot of black in there, haven't decided. So that's how to do your eye, and there we go. And there we go, I finished my eye, and there's the end of our square today. I've tacked this little nose down, and yeah, there we go for today. I hope you've enjoyed this and found it useful and helpful. If you have, please, as always, click that like button down there, give us a thumbs up and show some love and appreciation. It does mean a lot. And I can't wait to see photos of your little piggies in our Facebook group. Which piggy have you made? The one that went to market? The one that ate roast beef? I can't wait to see them. So there's a link to our Facebook group in the description below. So until next time, just keep hooking and don't let your tea get cold.